Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Arr. Greeting, greeting, hello, welcome, all those things to nobody in particular. Apart from replay crew, no replay crew. Uh, yeah, back again for another couple of hours of random waffle and twaddle and yeah, just see where we go. There's Sammy boy. How you doing, you stunningly handsome brute? Hope all is well in California. And is the California dream in any different to the American dream? That is the question. Phone just updated up to One UI 7 or user interface. Working to get it back to how I liked it before. Ah, yes. You. Here's this update. You're gonna love it. No, I'm not. I preferred it the old way. Blooming heck, a blast from the past. How you doing, Ricky? Good to see you. Still about? Kicking butt and taking names, I hope. Oh dear. Hmm. Rookies. Not that I'm aware of. No, it doesn't look like you deleted anything. No, it doesn't look like you fat fingered anything. Uh, yeah, I've never a fan of updates on things. It's very rare they actually make anything better. They normally make it worse. Just the way they tend to be. Usually they fix a problem by introducing a whole bunch more so you don't actually notice the original problem. Been a while since I had a chance. Been a busy bunny then, have you? Yeah. To be fair, I'm conspicuously absent from a lot of streams these days, or from mostly all of them. Life, other stuff. Yeah. It was a lot easier to watch a lot of live streams at really strange hours of the middle of the night when I wasn't working. And now the ones that are on in the middle of the day, I'm normally at work. And the ones in the middle of the night, I'm asleep. Or I forget. And if you don't do it for a while, it stops sending you notifications. And then you're like, I haven't seen so and so for ages. Then you realise YouTube's unsubscribed you. Yeah, I've been alright, just everyone else. Has anyone else noticed how YouTube will unsubscribe you from the channel? But then there are ones that have been deleted, but the channel still shows up in your subscription list and you can't unsubscribe from it. Change your battery icon from just a number to a number with a white bubble around it. It's terrible. My recent button was 0. Yes. Yeah, they don't tend to change much visibly on Android, I've noticed. The old Windows Phone recent button, no, that option isn't even available for me to use. Recent. Pass. Don't think I ever use any of the shortcutty stuff anyway. I just every once in a while go through and shut everything manually because for some reason the phones and tablets like to have as many programs running as they can. And you're like, I closed that. Why is it still open? I didn't even open that. Why is it open? Yeah. At least my phone has stopped trying to re-download TikTok or FaceAche every time I bloody turn it on. It used to be every time we got an update, it re-downloaded all the stuff I'd deleted. It seems to have figured out now that there's a reason I deleted it. It's because I don't use it. Yeah, I think there are quite a lot of fish tubers that are no longer fish tubing um, for various reasons. But let's be honest, I've been doing YouTube for silly amounts of years, so I just kind of do it now. It's something I do. Tummy. Spring as well, so like every year it takes till the heat of summer for peaks to be online. Yeah. Spexy Tommy. Yeah, it's that time of year where it's kind of pleasant to be outside and do things. It hasn't got to that point where it's ridiculously hot yet, where you're like, no, I'm going to come back indoors. Every time I have an update, it deletes the apps. I'm guessing they're probably not safe apps then. Outside strictly for the air and sunlight, otherwise I'm in big getting over COVID. Oh dear. I'll get well soon, Tommy. I'm pretty sure that's what I had. What, best part of 2 months ago now? Was it the end of March? It was beginning of March, wasn't it, when I had my week off? Yeah, because I had a week off at the beginning of March and was ill. I'm pretty sure that was a dose of COVID. It was forcing me to use Google Gemini. And I put a stop to that. Yeah, yeah, that's annoying when it says, no, use this pro. No, in my case, it's no, I don't want to use Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge sucks. I will use Google Chrome. Uh, Sinus issues, harsh coughs, massive head pressure, whole body aches, no taste or smell. Welcome to eating like Sharpe. Yeah, it's not going to go away. It's going to be with us for donkeys. I mean, it's gradually getting less and less sort of powerful, strong, as it were. Um, and yeah, I don't quite fall into any of the categories to get a free booster shot every year. So, use DuckDuckGo. I mean, to be fair, I don't use any of it on my laptop. Literally, all my laptop gets used for is uploading videos, live streams, and paying bills. That's it. The rest of it I do on my tablet or my phone. Yeah. Because even though I've got shiny new Microsoft, yeah. Timbo, how the devil are you, sir? Life's treating me okay. You? All okay with you? Oh, despite the so having the shiny new laptop that does everything a lot quicker, I still don't use it. Because if I'm sitting in my armchair, I've got my tablet right beside me or my phone, so that's just easier. Living the dream. Well, if you figure out whose dream it is, let me know and we'll give them a good beating. Yeah, working on a book. See, I did that once, which will come as a surprise to nobody that I tried writing a book and got bored. But I did it old fashioned. I used pen and paper. And yes, fountain pen and paper. I've got about 300 pages of A4, which, given the size of my handwriting, is probably the equivalent to War and Peace. And then kind of lost the plot, lost the will to live. Hang on a minute, where the hell did the pipe come from? The pipe came from Amazon. Was not blowing bubbles because it's full of tobacco. Yeah, I'm old. You know this, Tim. Uh, Pipe tobacco is a lot cheaper than rolling tobacco, so generally, if I'm sitting around at home now, I just have a toke on a pipe instead. Plus, it means I can point at things. And if someone asks you a question, you can think thoughtfully for a moment or two. You can go, yeah, hmm. And no one thinks it's weird because they think it's weird enough that I'm smoking a pipe. Actually, it's the exact opposite. Get absolutely zero dirty looks when you smoke a pipe in public. Even me wandering down the street, if I'm wandering down the street with a rollie hanging out my gob, I get the odd dirty look. Not as many dirty looks as vapists get. Um, but yeah, walk along with a pipe and no one bats an eyelid. I think most people probably don't even realise what it is these days. English tutor smoked a pipe, very, very memorable. And yeah, and back when you, well, definitely me, when we were at school, they smoked the pipe in the classroom. And if they weren't smoking it, it sat on the desk. We even had a female teacher that smoked a pipe. Mind you, she went by the name of Mrs., but we all behind her back called her Mister, because she smoked a pipe, played rugby, drank beer by the pint every lunchtime. Yeah, she would literally go out of school at lunchtime, go to the pub, have a couple of pints, and come back again. I got to go eat dinner. Yep, thank you. You too. Say hi to everyone for us. Yeah, I'm not gonna name her because she's probably still alive, just in case. I think I served her son a couple of times at work as well, so probably best not to. But yeah, good to see you, Timbo. Have a good one. And don't do anything I wouldn't do. That doesn't cut much out, does it? Let's be honest. Actually, these days there's a lot I wouldn't do that I used to do, but still. And at least I've not managed to fall asleep in the middle of my own live stream yet, so there is that one. So what have I been up to? Samsung Bixby is better than Google Gemini. No, never used either. Change your content on my channel. Yeah, I mean, if you look at mine, it changes every few years. It's more of a vlog type channel. Prodigal Acarist, nice burp. Got another subscription. Thank you very much. Welcome aboard. And for me, that was that was pretty tame for me. I got accused of sounding like a hippo the other day at work. Mind you, it did set off all the dogs at the neighbouring factory. I burped and the dogs 50 100 feet away all started barking. Hunting contents. What part of the island am I on? I'm on the eastern part. I am a Norfolker. Well, I'm not technically, but naturalised Norfolk, let's call it. Southwest. Don't go south of the river after dark, mate. The London cabbie. No, I don't go south of the river after night. Yeah, I'm in butt end of nowhere, Norfolk, basically. If I go pretty much a mile in any direction, I am out in the middle of farmland. So, yay! Means I can use the water in my water butt in my fish tanks because it's not full of pollution. Sounds like Swartham. No, a bit further south than Swartham. I'm in Attleysburg, Attleborough. So yeah, proper small town, middle of nowhere, Norfolk. A town that is famous for precisely nothing, which I like. And it's kind of well known for the traffic jams that we get around the one-way system 4 times a day at least. That's the good thing about school holidays. It's slightly less of a jam all of the time. Still thinking of doing a better wall. That's cool and all, but that's a lot of work. I haven't even got a single better now. If I was going to, I'd go for some wild types. But then it's where do I put them, because I only have one soft water tank, and that is currently overrun with shrimp. And I'm trying desperately to get it low enough pH for the clown plecos to breed. It's a bit difficult when your tap water is coming out at pH 8.2 and they need it down at 5. Botanicals don't cut it. Dropping a catappa leaf in there will not lower my pH level. Hence why I use rainwater in that tank. Probably also doesn't help the amount of snails in there. And then when they die, as soon as you get any acidity in the water, the shell starts getting eaten away and just increases the calcium content of the water again. And ain't nobody got time to go around rooting out all the dead snail shells from their tanks, let's be honest. Especially when we're talking trumpet snails. Actually, yeah, that is something that... So last week, I moved Mr. Yo-Yo Loach into what is now a completely murky mess because he's been scootering around and stirring up all the mold that was in there. So I moved him in there out of one of my flexes, the one with the super reds, the one that I hadn't seen a snail in for weeks, a month, more. So yeah, he can come out there now. Literally within 2 days of me taking the Yo-Yo Loach out of there, all the bloody trumpet snails came back out of the substrate, and now it's absolutely overrun with them. So yeah, snails know when there's a loach in the tank, and they hide. Well, Malaysian trumpet snails do anyway. You got all the ram's horns, so that's okay. Had a koi better that passed away at 5 years old. That did well. So I had two, and I think 6 to 8 months is generally the lifespan I've had on betters. Which, you know. Oh yeah, they're pretty and they're kind of interactive, but they just don't do it for me. Having to have a tank for a fish. I know it can be a small tank, it doesn't have to be huge, but tank that size I could have a shrimp colony in or breed something small. Yeah, a nano fish. Use it as a grow out tank for bristle noses. That's all. That's never a bad idea. As I'm yeah, you just got lucky and got a healthy one then. This is the problem. If you look at what a wild Betta splendens would look like, and you look at all the ones in the hobby that people buy, you see just how inbred they all are. How massively inbred. The same with the guppy lines and the platies. Maybe not the platies and the mollies and stuff so much, but guppies for sure. They've been so inbred that they made. Yes, they're pretty, but they're also extremely weak and prone to, it's like purebred pedigree dogs. You end up breeding in all the weaknesses, and they shorten their lifespans, and they have lots of medical issues. You just don't necessarily notice it so much in a fish. Because I'm pretty sure nature hasn't evolved any animal to breathe like a pug or a French bulldog. You know, it's kind of a bit difficult to. Yeah, I was like, if if I found someone selling like a pair of better embellis or something like that, then yeah, I'd probably buy them. But yeah, it's not me really. I'm currently, well, so still doing bristly noses and just sort of rarer live bearers now. So we've got Limia, Amica, and Skiffia. Well, the Skiffias ain't doing too great, but we shall see. Give them time. That reminds me, I've got to clean out the canister filter on that tank. The Amica Splendens. Exactly. Yeah. They look pretty enough already. And they're not an ornament, they're not a decoration. If you don't like how a guppy looks, don't keep guppies. It's one of the things I have against biorbs is it's all design rather than actually useful. It's designed to look nice and be pretty and stylish in a house rather than actually be a decent habitat for something to live in. A biorb is probably best used as, well, a terrarium, just an aquatic terrarium. Pardon me. Howdy, Jeffy. My one fish tank is a home for fish, not an art installation. Yeah. I mean, do the contents of the tank look pretty? If so, result. I mean, I have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Currently, of 13 tanks running, only 6 of them are display tanks. The other 7, there's another one down there, are grow out tanks, quarantine tanks. Where the heck do I put this damn fish tanks? And then I've got the pond out back, which is currently home to several thousand tadpoles and some comic goldfish that have done the breedies. So we've got baby comic goldfish as well. Your pond must be really unhealthy. You don't clean it, and it's got muck and dirt in it, and it's not filtered. And take a look at a natural pond or lake. Spot the filter. Spot the people feeding it every day. No. It's natural. Oh, it's unnatural because it's a man-made pond in my garden, but I don't interfere with it. What about water changes? Well, yeah, that's called rain. It refills and then it overflows, which could be interesting in future, given that it now has a galvanized steel surround around it that's a couple of inches above the level of the liner. Oh well, we shall see which way it floods next. It will be onto the border of the plants, which isn't going to be too bad. Or it'll hold it and hold it and hold it, and then it'll overflow into Karens over the back. Except it won't, because it'll overflow that direction, and then there's another galvanized steel barrier. Would put fish in my pond, but my turtles would eat them. That's the thing. Turtles won't survive in a UK pond, especially in the winter when it freezes over. Turtles kind of need air to breathe. Although, they do make good ashtrays, let's be honest. Somewhere around here, I do actually have an ashtray made out of a turtle shell. Yeah, I breathe through my butt sometimes as well. People tend to get upset when I do that because of the aromas. I was a bit IBS-y at work last week. Not last week, week before. I can't remember. And apparently I was making people's eyes water. Which I was quite impressed with. But yeah, breathing through the butt. Yeah, it's probably not going to help if the pond's iced over, though. Can you imagine if we did that? Inhale through our face and exhale through our butt. It's like literally everyone, you breathe in and then you fart, and then you breathe in and then you fart, and then you breathe in and then you fart. Actually, I can imagine that, and it would be hilarious for about 5 minutes. And Jeff's pond's finally thawing out. Yeah, well, hopefully the dinosaurs made it through the winter. If it need proper nicotine. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I hope he's not talking about his butt. Unless you've been out skiing somewhere. I think even Canada is de-snowed by now, hasn't it? Watching old Dan Hurd's latest video earlier. Put the fish in it, a solid block of ice. Probably for the best in that case. Yeah, I mean, we had a relatively warm winter. I know. Those who live in warmer climes won't agree that it was a warm winter. But I mean, yeah, the pond was frozen over for a couple of weeks. And then we didn't really have any snow either. We had a couple of flurries, nothing spectacular. Although I did have to walk Pippa one day when it snowed, and she really did not like that. If you're not aware, Pippa being the neighbour's dog who I walk, and yeah, she did not like getting snowed on. She doesn't like rain at the best of times. So it was like every time a flake of snow landed on her face, she was looking at it really angry. Still got snow banks in northern Wisconsin. Yeah, isn't northern Wisconsin further north than some parts of Canada, if I remember rightly? Mertonker, yes, it is officially Sunday, the day of sun. And has been for quite a while here. Speaking of which, and speaking of gardens, I did buy some more plants this week, and we are making more progress. I've got the see. Oh dear, got to finish the yard work. Yeah, enjoy. I've been doing a lot of that lately. So yeah, I've got the island bed put in. I've got most of the rest of the area that's going to be hiccups. Bark chips cleared. I've literally got 5 to 3 foot section left to clear. Then I can start putting down the membrane and then figure out where to get the bark chips from and how much I'm gonna need. Yeah, I think we're up to nearly 40 of the bulbs that I've put in have come up now. So that's a 10% success rate so far. But yeah, I bought some. What did I buy? I've forgotten. So we went out to Mary and I went out to the garden centre today, and I got petunias. I think they were. Yes, some mixed star petunias. £4 for 10, which I didn't think was too bad of a deal. And then in the big pot, and this was a bit pricier, but no, the bigger the plant is, the more you pay for it, because the longer it's taken to raise. I'll get it out of the bag without ripping half the leaves off. No, I know you can see a couple of the leaves. No, it's not a cannabis plant. Brits will recognise it. Come on. Let's get this out. Come on. Get one side out, then the other side should be relatively easy. I know it will regrow any leaves I break off, but I'd rather not break them off if I can help it. Come on, we're nearly there, nearly there. One side free. And we're clear. We have a lupin. A very vigorous and happy looking lupin. With lots of leavies coming out of the middle and out the sides. So yeah, that's, I think, was that a red one? Yeah. Forming perennial with attractive as June to July, full sun, partial shade. Yeah. Self seeds everywhere, which is always good, because then you don't have to buy a load more next year. Because it's seeds everywhere. And see you later, Ricky. Have a good one. Same time every week, pretty much. Yeah, that's what we got this week. So they're going into the little island bed. I did film a bit of a video, so that will be going up this week. possibly tomorrow, if not Wednesday, if I remember. And then I'm off the week after, so I will hopefully that week pretty much get all the hard graft done in the back garden. I think I've got all of the nettles and fish phantoms and petunias. I really should just rename the channel to Sharpe's Stuff, really, shouldn't I? It's not like I cover one thing. Yeah, because I've recategorized the live streams as vlogs rather than pets and animals, because let's be honest, most of the time we end up talking about all sorts and nothing at all to do with pets or fish or anything. On hell. Yeah, this is it. It's got to be interesting for me. That's the first thing, because if I'm bored and making content I don't want to be making, then it will be even more obvious. This is not like I'm the most hyper and up person as it is when I'm talking about whatever I'm talking about. So if I really don't want to be making that video, it's going to be really dull and boring, even more so than usual. Can you imagine it? Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna, yeah, it just wouldn't work. Be like Neil from the young ones. Hello, shoes. So we're gonna have to stand in you again today. So I change what I'm doing from one day, week, month, year to the next. So I might film another couple of bike rides this year, or doing some maintenance on the bike, or visiting places, churches and stuff with Mary, or on my own, or fishy stuff, or gardening stuff, or paranormal stuff, reading a horror story perhaps, or ghost story. Although these days, if you're reading the story and you're not on camera reading it, you have to say you're not an AI. Because otherwise people will believe it is an AI, even though it's pretty obvious it's not, because, you know, some of the AI voices are getting better, but you can tell, especially when you're talking about things that have got maybe slightly strange things to pronounce in. So, Norfolk place names, Latin names of fish and plants. Um, and I think most people who watch me regularly will know me well enough to know that I'd find it easier to sit there and read a book out loud than I would to figure out how to get an AI to do it for me. Although there probably is an AI program that could use my voice, but there's enough videos and time of me talking online for there to be enough for it to gather together to come up with something. When a younger creator pronounces women correctly, I'll know it's AI. Yeah. They call it whamming or women's or womans. Yeah. I don't think AI would ever come up with some of the jokes I come up with on the fly as I'm talking. Woman weirdos. It's like saying aluminum and completely missing out the I. Sound like cavemen. Captain Caveman! And you got to be of an age to remember that. Can't remember anything else about it other than they drove around in a little van that looked like kind of like the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo, but his cave was on the roof. Tell me there were drugs involved in the making of that cartoon without telling me there were drugs involved. I think pretty much everything I watched as a child, at least children's TV wise, was pretty much all drug fueled. And some of it you'd have to be on drugs to watch these days. Things like finger bobs. But then a lot of the stuff I watched as a kid you can't watch anymore because, well, the presenters are now in jail or dead. And a lot of the stuff I used to watch as a kid, they wouldn't be able to have as a children's program anymore because it'd be too dark and scary. Yeah, that's the point. But people die, yeah. And there are guns, yes. There are mutant ninjas with katana, or mutant turtles with katanas, yes. I think that was actually one of the first ones where things started to change in the UK. Because we didn't have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It got changed to Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Because apparently ninja had bad connotations. Nothing wrong with mutants, apparently. Just ninjas. Then Warhammer 40,000 happened and everything else looked like sweetness and light. Yeah. It was all so much better. No, that yo-yo really is kicking up the muck in there, isn't he? Or is it every time I move he goes, ah, and scoots off and hides again? Never mind. I'm off tomorrow, so you're going to get proper demalmy water changes, and in the case of some of the tanks, de-snailed as well. That one with the super reds in is seriously full of snails. The one at the bottom isn't so much anymore because I had a big ammonia spike this week. It killed most of them, so there is that. Yeah, I know exactly what happened. Filters clagged solid, so I cleared out the gunk. Well, the problem is by clearing out the gunk that was clagging the filter solid, that was a lot of bacteria. So despite the fact that then the filters were running again, there wasn't a lot of beneficial bacteria in the tank. So then it ammonia spiked again. So cue lots of water changing and adding 2 more sponge filters, which is why you can't hear it, because I've got that spare Zacro air pump that I had is now powering both sponge filters in the bottom tank, and it's literally sitting right behind me down here on the floor. I'll get the camera as close as I can and you'll hear how quiet it is. Big old brick of an air pump. And what you can actually hear is the bubbles and the Tetra one that's actually in that cabinet. That's silent. Ooh. Come on. Today it would be diverse age average chromosomal martial arts amphibians. Took me a lot to type that out. Past what we were talking about for this to make sense. No, I get it. I get it. Tamanata. And you see, the thing is, I was playing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles role-playing game long before the cartoon ever came out. Wolverines were really awesome in that game. Or honey badgers. If you manage to roll properly, or if the GM let you choose which creature you were. Did have a friend who liked being an elephant to get the prehensile trunk. He generally just used that for nefarious purposes. As I recall, there was a lot of skirts lifting going on. We were teenage boys, what do you expect? Playing D&D and the Dungeon Master says, you come to a fork in the road, what do you want to do? Well, pick it up. What? Well, you hear a rustle in the bushes. Tell Russell to come out. All those kind of dad jokes, because dad jokes weren't a thing back then, but yeah, they all got bought out regularly. Remember someone had a magic user they called Paul Daniels. Anyway, yes, that's another video to come, is the review. It won't be an unboxing anymore, obviously. I've still got the box, but review of the Zacro air pumps. I can't remember which brand they are identical to, but they are identical to one of the name brands. They're just about a third of the price and just as good. As I said, the air pump, you can actually hear the buzz from, if you can hear it above the bubbles, is the Tetra Wisp air that is in this cabinet, sitting on a piece of foam to dampen all the vibrations, and it still buzzes. And doesn't produce anywhere near as much air either. Right, I'm going to quickly run to the little boy's room. I'll be back in a minute. If I can stand up. Oh, God. Getting old. Oh, yes. Ow. That's better. That's better. Feeling about half the weight now. Oh, there we go. Put the kitchen light on so I'm not sitting in complete darkness. Some little light over me, and it's still daylight, but getting that time of year. At some point, the sun will come round and just randomly just shine directly onto the camera, probably. Not quite yet, though. Yeah, so that's tomorrow's job, is to plant the new planties and then do all the water changes. Water the garden with the water change water. And then what's left, stick into empty 2-litre Coke bottles so that I can water the garden again later in the week, because it's due to stay warm and dry. Chances are the week after it's going to pill down with rain all week because I'm off, but that's okay. I think I will probably take a trip up to Norwich, mostly just to see about getting a new phone, because nothing wrong with my current one, is just rather old, and I'm due an upgrade, overdue an upgrade. Plus, it's been a while. When was the last time I went up to Norwich? Actually into the city. I mean, for something other than on a bike ride home, probably pre-COVID, other than like trips to go outdoors, which is not really in the middle of the city. But yeah. And whether I actually do anything other than just go to the EE store and sort a new phone, whether I actually do anything else is another matter. Might just do that, turn around and go, nope, F it, I'm going home. Had enough of this. Too many people. Yeah, and hopefully it's the same, whatever the new phone is same size SIM card, blah blah blah. So just in case to swap the SIM card over and plug a lead in, and it does everything itself, sets it all up. What else we got to do that week? We really got to make an optician's appointment, because that's kind of beyond a joke now. I've got to the point now where if I'm not watching TV, I'm just on my tablet or something, I take my glasses off, because otherwise I'm constantly looking under them like this because I can't bloody focus, and everything's blurry through my glasses that close up. So yeah, that's well overdue. Yeah, it might be an expensive week. Gulp. Thankfully, it's payday, I think, next week, so it should be okay. Might even get out on a bike ride. That would be a bonus. Because I won't be having to spend a huge amount of time in the garden. I mean, the brown bin will be emptied that week, so I can then refill it again with other stuff, but there's not that much else to put in there. I sorted the front this week as well, or yesterday as well, so yeah. Just be cutting the dead wood out of the big shrub and then chopping down the holly tree. That's going to be interesting, trying to get rid of that without spiking myself to pieces all over the place, especially if it's warm. If it's warm, I don't want to be wearing like a fleece and long sleeves and stuff. I'd rather not spike myself to pieces on the holly. I've had enough over the last 6, 7 months, 8 months. When did I start clearing the back garden? Was that like September last year? Or was it earlier? Because I had might have been August. Yeah. It's just nice to have got to a stage now with sorting the back garden that it's stuff that makes it look better, not stuff that makes it look less bad. Yeah. And hopefully it will soon be a bramble and nettle free environment as well, which will be a big bonus, because I'm sick to death of getting scratched by brambles. There are 3 left that I can't dig out, but I'm attacking those with weed killer, so hopefully that kills them off. They're only little ones. And then, yeah, just like little bits that I can go out there, take maybe half an hour, and it makes a sizable difference, rather than go out there for 3 or 4 hours and you can barely tell I've done anything. But yeah, at least all the heavy digging and stuff's done, which is the stuff that really hurts. Because spending a lot of time bent over or squatting or kneeling does cause me issues, mostly with my hips, which aren't in the best of shape anyway. Yeah, we'll get that done. And then it's figure out. It's one of those things, because I'll be covering what's in between in bark chippings, and if you've seen any of the videos, you'll kind of have a clue. It's just, how much bark chippings do I need? If I buy a 100 litre sack, will that cover most of it? Or will I put a 100 litre sack out there and go, oh crap, I need lots more? We will find out. But then once the weed-proof membrane is down, then I can just add the bark as and when. I don't need to buy it all at once and have a big expensive hit. I can buy it like a sack at a time or whatever it comes in. And yeah, it's just find a bunch of random rocks to go around the outside of the pond, and some kind of tunnely type thing so I can put it under the netting so that frogs can get in and out. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you think you're getting there and then you think of another half a dozen jobs to do. But as I say, I'll get there in time and it'll all be sorted. There's far worse things to be doing. Yeah. And then I'll finally get it all done, and it'll be time to put all the spring bulbs in. So I'll be going out and buying lots of those as well. Lots of snowdrops and daffodils and tulips and crocuses and God knows what. Howdy, 40 FPS. Thank you. Well, I'll probably disagree, but it's just me waffling and rambling about random stuff. Mostly the garden at the moment because that's what I've been doing most of lately. What else have we been up to? Yeah, really not a lot more. Water changes, work, and garden. Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's a Sunday thing. I spend Sunday afternoon with my missus, and she doesn't smoke, so I don't smoke very much. So I kind of have to sort of get the nicotine levels back up in the evening to a normal level. Plus, it's something to do with my hands. Times past I would have done, but too old and broke for that these days. If I did, I'd probably just fall asleep, to be quite honest. How long is it? Mario, is it about 12 years since I last had a spliff? Something like that. That cat behind me, Zaki boy, he just judges everyone, or judged everybody. He's there to just glare at everyone, not just me. He's one reason why I had to be a bit careful where I was digging when I was digging over the back garden. and I'm glad I buried him deep because it meant I didn't dig him back up. What's my favourite DVD on the shelf? Which shelf? There's three there. There's that one there. There's another one over there. There's a couple of carousels and a disc gear, or two disc gears. There's around about 1,000 on them. Just for something to randomly watch. These days, I'm more likely to just stick a music one in. But of the ones on that shelf, what's a good one to start with? Yeah, Doomsday is pretty cool. The Pacific. Dead Snow, that's a cool movie. But probably if I was going to stick something on from that shelf up there, it would probably be the Richard Pryor stand-up sets. Yeah, it's been a while since Jaws don't count. Favourite fish-based film? Oh, that's a good one. Is there one up there? I can see one from here. Probably a fish called Wanda, but stuck in between Showgirls and Paranormal Entity 2. Tea time. Thanks for being here, Prodigal. Have a good one. Enjoy your tea. Yeah. Yeah, if you hang around here long enough, you'll kind of realise I just accept the fact that I'm a middle-aged man and therefore a bit of a perv. The fact that I'm open about it is what probably throws most people. What else we got up there that's good? Donnie Darko, Senna, The Road, that was an awesome movie. Oh God, Jurassic World, that sucked. Sleepy Hollow. The complete box set of Castle. Pardon me. Battle of Sevastopol, that's a great movie. I mean, it's in Russian, but it's a great movie. Game of Thrones, NCIS. Why is that tank looking like it's about to fall off the shelf? Probably because it's moved. Fat and the Furry. Yeah. Game of Thrones. Also, what's up there? Yeah. Wide and varied taste in movies. About 45 push-ups. It's about 45 more than I would willingly do. I am in shape. Round is a shape. And if I go by the people I work with, I am far fitter than people half my age. Push-ups to the ice cream. Push pops, yeah. Yes, when there are people who you are old enough to be their father and you're still fitter than they are. You're like, really? Am I concerned that Bic will come after me about the name? Nope, not at all. Because I can prove that my nickname of Sharpe goes all the way back to when I was in middle school. And it's just a generally accepted variation on the surname as a nickname. And I'm pretty sure they're not worried about some little YouTube channel. I mean, if they want to sponsor me and send me a couple of marker pens, I'll quite happily take them. The name is permanent. Yes, it is. Very permanent. Yes. Just like a Sharpie marker. Which ironically is what my foster father should have been called. Yeah, I've probably been doing this a lot longer. That's the thing. I'm not far off of 800 videos on the channel now. God knows how many live streams, because I've been doing one of these a week for however many years. 3 or 4 years. 4 years, something like that. Got films on Netflix. Yeah, that wins. So YouTube's about the one social media platform I can stand. I prefer my entertainment in a more long form, and to be able to choose. Need more fish in our films, clearly. We do. And not just piranhas as a way of killing off people or as a horror thing. It's a bit cloudy because there's a lot of mulm in there, and I recently moved a large yo-yo loach in there who is just constantly kicking everything up. He's going around hunting for snails at the moment, so he's rooting through all the muck and the mulm. I haven't had a chance to do proper water changes on the tanks for a while now, because I do them on a Monday and a Tuesday. Preferably just on a Monday, but I've been working Mondays and Tuesdays lately, so it's kind of a quick rush around in the morning to get half of them done, then go to work. So, well, thank you very much. Always appreciate a new sub, and I'm sure there's something on the channel that will prove interesting, or either, well, if not that, just send you to sleep. Whether you like cycling, gardening, history, paranormal, model making, I think that's about all the subject areas. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've covered. Models, fish, big Radiohead fan. Weird fishes, probably. I'm not a huge Radiohead fan, although I do enjoy their music. And it's always fun when something other than Creep comes on the radio at work, and all the young ones are going, "Oh, this is so depressing." Welcome to life. Recently, though, I've been listening mostly to Nightwish, Aerion. Randomly got back into some of the stuff from the 80s that I used to listen to. So Depeche Mode, Tears for Fears, Typo Negative, not which isn't 80s really. But now that would be funny if they started playing Typo Negative on the radio. Actually, that's something I've got to do on my week off, as I've got the Aerion Live Under the Waves concert on Blu-ray to watch. Only disappointment with that is that Floor Jansen wasn't there, but never mind. Theory told me it's more healthy minded because it's admitting he's a creep, whereas the majority of the problem is lighter. Yeah. Yeah, it's like me. I don't hide the fact that I'm a man. There are things that appeal to me. Certain squidgy things that appeal to me. I don't hide this fact. I don't know why people do. I'm more open. Yeah, I'm open about mental health struggles. Don't see the point in hiding it. Because if you start hiding it, you hide it from yourself, and then things get worse. Oh, pardon me. Oh, that was brave. Yeah. That's the one thing I always said I will always be on my channel is honest. Whether it be model kit reviews, talking about myself, aquarium product reviews. If something goes wrong, I say something's gone wrong. Don't think gas is good for release around fish. The fish don't mind. Well, thankfully, there's no cats about to give me any dirty looks. Actually, we were talking about smoking last week because I'm surrounded by fish tanks and I'm smoking. And so far, I found the only downside to it, because it doesn't seem to affect the fish at all, is that the filter bits in the air pumps they get clogged up with tar, and so do the little rubber flapper valves, and then the air pump stops working. What happens on Mondays? Well, usually work, but it will be get all the water changes done, and proper ones, so demulm the fry tanks, trim some plants, de-snailify. But first of all, I will have to walk the neighbour's dog and then get the plants planted so that then I can just water the garden and the plants with the water out of the fish tanks. Because fish tank water is really good for the garden, especially if you clean your filters out as well. Because then you've got nitrates in the water, which plants like, and you've got poop in there as well, which fertilizes the garden. Win-win. A use for the water change water. And also means you don't have to pay for the sewerage either, because you're not putting it down the drain. And because it's been rather dry of late as well, also means I don't empty the water butt, because I need the water out of the water butt for water changes on the black water tank, the low pH tank, because my tap water is way too hard for a soft water tank. Now we get the other lighter. And people think vapes produce a lot of back. Had to make a store over Sprite. Don't worry, I disinfected and touched nothing except my card. All good. Oh shit. Share the love, Tommy. Everyone else does. And my bloody assistant manager this week at work turned up with a stinking cold. So I was like, thanks. I'm probably going to catch that now, and it'll probably be on my week off. Some years just go like that, though. Every time you get a week off work, you're ill, or the weather just sucks bad. Or you've got lots and lots of jobs to do around the house, so you don't get a chance to relax. And then you go back to work for a break. Yeah. Go back to work not exactly rested and recharged, more broken and worn out than when you went. Yeah, it is. But thankfully I get plenty of holidays. So if I'm ill for all my holiday this year, then I've had a really bad year. We get extra every year that we're with the company. And yes, I may only have been there 2 years, but I now get 6 weeks and 4 hours. Maybe next year it'll be 6 weeks and a day, which would be good. Because 4 hours is annoying because I do 6 hour shifts. And it's like, do you really want to go into work for 2 hours? And no, I don't want to lengthen another shift to 8 hours to make up, or 2 to 7 hours. I'd rather go in for 2 hours, to be honest. The last 2 hours would probably be the best. And turn up at 6 and go home at 8. Sounds good to me. That's a point, Tommy. Did you look up the black-eyed children? Did you get a chance? Or have you been too busy being ill? Yeah, as I was saying, weird, random choices of subject that happen in this channel and live stream. Yeah, and we try and steer clear of religion and politics, but sometimes it can't be helped, especially if the major news is that it looked like something out of Stephen King. Yeah, they do. I think they might have been in a Stephen King novel at some point. They probably have. But it's another example of how my digestive system is not put together properly. How quickly it takes carbonation out of drink and then just fires it straight back out again. Yes, they're creepy, aren't they, Tommy? Whether they're a real thing or not, or whether it's something completely made up like Slender Man or The Rake. It's some of those things that you just like, really? That came from a creepypasta. People have traced it back to the original creepypasta. Yet you still believe is a real thing. Okay. Yeah. This is the problem with the internet. Things get out of hand real quick. Like the whole flat earth thing started as someone trolling 4chan and it just blew up. The whole vaccines cause autism thing was proven wrong, but people still believe it. You can't fix stupid. Or Facebook mum groups. You need to put onions in their socks. That will make them better. See how the onion, or potatoes, in it is the other one. See how it turned black? That's it. It's pulling all the toxins out. No, they just do that. It's called oxidation. If you maybe just Googled why do potatoes turn black, it would tell you. Yes. But then people do forget that you can just like ask a search engine a question. And yes, I say Googled, and I know we all use different things, but it's become a synonymous term like Hoover has for a vacuum. No one calls it a Henry vacuum, everyone calls it a Henry Hoover. And actually, I wonder if that's why they called it Henry. There's a bit of a joke. If you're not aware, we have a brand of vacuum cleaners in the UK by a company called Pneumatic. And they're just a relatively standard vacuum cleaner. But they're called Henry, and they've got a pair of eyes on them. And then there's a Henrietta and a George and a couple of others, I think, as well. But yeah, I'm wondering if Henry Hoover is a bit of a joke. Yeah, they're just one of those solid, dependable workhorse vacuum cleaners. They suck up enough of the muck to do the job properly, but they don't cost an absolute fortune. And they go on working for years. And they're built like a tank. Not a fish tank, an actual tank. Seriously heavy. Well, not heavy, but durable. So I think they're originally designed for like industrial use, so people who clean offices and janitors and that kind of stuff, so they get a lot of use. And yeah, they can take it. That's probably a job I should do during my week off is get Henry out and have a good old hoover up around here. Get the soil and fish food and mott and hair and God knows what up off the carpet. See how many algae wafers we can find as they rattle up the pipe. Donna, darling, hello, how are you? Thanks for popping in and saying hi. Always better to pop in than pop out. That's a good rule to live by. Although it's kind of ironic that you turn up just as we're discussing vacuum cleaners and the simple joys of a Henry. Yeah, I'm all good, you know me. bumping along at my usual level of meh. Doing more garden work, buying more plants, trying not to kill co-workers or the public. Usual. Yeah, so thankfully Easter's out of the way, so we've the weekend warriors seem to have died off a bit now. Hence the reason he's your ex-husband. Even I know you don't do that. If Mary wanted a new vacuum cleaner, yes, I would buy her one. But unless she specifically said she wanted it for her birthday or Christmas or whatever, no. And I would get other things as well. It wouldn't be, here, I bought you one big present. It's so you can clean better. Not that I would see any benefit from it because it would be used in her house, not mine. But yeah. If you didn't know, guys, don't buy things like that as presents for your better halves. Doesn't go down well. And they will take it with them when they leave, and then you'll have to buy another one. Relationship advice with Sharpe. Oh dear. I say these things not because I have huge amounts of relationship experience, because I spent a lot of years watching other people screw up their relationships and gone, found out why it went wrong and gone, oh yeah, that makes sense. Although weirdly, it doesn't work the other way around. Because if a woman wanted to buy a guy like a drill or a chainsaw or something, we'd be like, cool, awesome. Maybe not a lawnmower. I don't think anyone wants a lawnmower for their birthday or Christmas. I certainly don't. I've got one in the shed. It's an old push mower. But as I've only got the front garden, and that lawn isn't big, as Andrew's seen, and it's not really a lawn, it's more a patch of rough grass. I just use a strimmer. It takes up a lot less room. It's a lot easier to get out and put away, and does it just as quickly. Also means I don't have to worry about doing it every bloody week. But, well, if I leave it more than a few days in the summer, then the grass will grow too long and it'll be an absolute nightmare to do. And I could possibly pull up all the grass and reseed it or something like that, but I know if I did that, I would just be generating a massive litter box out the front. And there's enough cats use my front garden as a litter box as it is. I don't want to add to it. It's another good reason to let it get long, because when the grass gets long, they stop doing it. And I suspect, although I'm quite surprised, because out the back, there's a lot of freshly dug soil, a lot of bare freshly dug soil. And I haven't found any cat poops. Well, I think I found one. And that was probably pumpkin, I think, judging by the state of it. And I'm not going to get upset at Pumpkin Cat for pooping in my garden, because She has stomach problems, and when she needs to go, she needs to go. She can't necessarily go and find somewhere suitable. It's just, where can I go where I'm not going to accidentally sit in it myself? Bless her. She's a lovely little putty cat, but yeah, she's got her problems. Well, basically, she's allergic to fleas. So if she gets a flea bite, then she scratches at it more than I would, and then cleans and cleans and cleans and makes herself sick, and then it affects the other end as well. So bless her. But she's a sweet little cat. I mean, she's not a fan of too much fussing, but that's usually because she probably itches like crazy and is in probably quite a bit of discomfort. So being fussed is probably not the most pleasant experience for her. But yeah, it's like the neighbours' cats view my garden as their territory, so they tend not to poop in their territory. Plus, I'm pretty sure that dude is still doing his rounds out there, keeping everyone away. Yeah, that's empty. Yeah, he was giving me head rubs last night, and Shadow was peeking her head around the banisters as well, which is always interesting. Yes, if you weren't aware, my house is haunted. And it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Something I'm used to. But anywho, seems a good point to sort of tie things up. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching, for being here, taking part. And the newbies who turn up, welcome. And same time again next week. And then probably be a video uploaded during the week. Be a gardening one, most likely. So thank you very much. Stay safe. Have fun. Peace out. Rock on. And bye-bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do. Mondays suck do do.